Hello and welcome to another episode of Dream Home Cooking. Today I am going to share my vegetable beef soup recipe with you guys, as well as my homemade pimento cheese. Then I'm going to turn them into pimento grilled cheese sandwiches. And then for dessert I have these cute little chocolate raspberry tarts. So I'm going to get started on the soup because I do like for this to cook for a while so that this meat becomes really tender. So this is 1.5 pounds of stew meat, and I am just going to put it into 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm just going to brown it for about 10 minutes before I do the next step. And what I do like to do, it's 1.5 pounds of stew meat, like I said, but I do like to take each piece, because they're usually large pieces, and I just cut them in half so that it's just a good little, bite size. So I'm just going to let this hang out a minute and brown. I'm not trying to cook the meat all the way through. I'm just wanting to brown it so it's got a nice texture to it. All right, so that is nice and browned on each side. And that took about 5 or 6 minutes. And every now and then I would just kind of stir it with this wooden spoon. And now I've turned the heat down to real low, and I've got here a tablespoon of flour, and I'm just going to put this in here so this acts as a thickening agent. This soup is so good. It's so hearty. Today is a really gloomy day. We're supposed to get some rain. It's cold, so it's a perfect day for soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. But this is my sweet late mother-in-law's recipe. And the first time she ever made this for me, I had to have the recipe because it is so delicious, and the meat literally just melts in your mouth. Okay, so I've got that flour all stirred in there, and you can see it already thickened that up. Okay, so now this is what I call a one-pot wonder. The next step is just to add the rest of the ingredients. So they go as follows. This is a teaspoon each of my normal salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and then I have also a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, and that's optional. And it doesn't really make it spicy. It just gives it a really nice flavor. All right, so I'm going to stir that in there. And then, of course, as always, once you get everything in there and it cooks for a little while, it's always good to just take a taste of it and see, if you need to add a little bit more spices to your liking. This is 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. It gives it a nice little sweetness, and crazy as it sounds, 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And then I'm just going to stir that a little bit to break those sugars down. Then I'm going to add a can of beef consomme. This stuff is great. I use it in several different recipes. All right, and then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. Then I have a can of diced tomatoes. I used to use stewed tomatoes. That's what my mother-in-law's recipe called for, but they're so big sometimes. So I prefer now, anytime a recipe calls for stewed tomatoes, I kind of replace it with these little petite diced tomatoes. They're just easier to eat. All right, so I'm going to kind of stir that. And then I'm going to bring the heat up just a little bit. And then I'm going to add a cup of water. And then, this is crazy, but 46 ounces of tomato juice. And I want to be careful because I really don't want to wear this. So I'm going to step back as I pour it. And this just gives it a nice flavor. And it's so good to have a tomato-based soup with grilled cheese. I love to dip it. All right, so we got that in there. I'm going to stir it. And then the last thing is a bag of frozen vegetables. It's a 16-ounce bag, and it's just called vegetable soup mix. And if you prefer, there's okra in this, so if you don't love okra, you can get the one that just has, I think, all the same things except okra. All right, and so you just stir this. I'm going to bring it to a small boil, and as soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down on real low, cover it, and I like to let it simmer for 2 hours. You can get away with an hour, but if you can let it simmer on low for 2 hours, that stew meat will be so tender, you'll just be amazed. Okay, so I'm going to let this come to a boil, and we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I'm going to show you guys how I make my homemade pimento cheese.
Years ago, we researched different cabinet companies. Wellborn was the cabinet company that we decided to go with. Wellborn has a lot of your custom style building like we did in the local cabinet shops years ago. You just can't go wrong with a product like that with Wellborn. On top of that, Wellborn has researchers that are out in the market every day. Their job is to see what's current in the market, what's selling, and what their dealers need to be showing in their showroom. So come out, let me help you design your kitchen with Wellborn products.
Hey guys, come on in.
Hey Troy.
Yeah, let me show you around.
Wow.
You know, as the Acme Brick spokesperson, I get paid in brick. All the brick I want. Solid. What? Too much? To get Acme Brick quality, look for the Acme name. And here's the guest room. Hope you like a firm mattress.
My father started this business in 1977. The people that work for us is part of what sets us apart. All of our employees have experience. All of our plumbers have been with us for 10 years or greater. Our motto at Dean & Son is quality and service. We're going to do quality work. We don't leave people hanging. We're there when we're supposed to be. We're done when we're supposed to be. Living up to what you sell and service them after they pay you, that's where your integrity in the plumbing business comes.
Dean & Son Plumbing Company. Call today at 518-9780.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? Is it a cool breeze on a scorching day? Or a cozy corner on a cold night? That every room of the house is as inviting as the next. And the air is fresh and clean for everyone. That humidity is where it belongs. At Carrier, comfort means more than just the temperature.
Hello, I'm Annette Hale of Annette Hale's Indoor Comfort Systems, the lady with a team you can trust. Visit us online at indoorcomforthsv.com.
Okay, we're back, and now I want to share my homemade pimento cheese recipe with you guys. I am very picky about my pimento cheese, so I love this recipe. I love to give it as gifts. I think people enjoy receiving it too. But it takes a little bit of elbow grease, so you want to start with 2 different blocks of cheese, 8 ounces of regular cheddar, yellow cheddar, and then 8 ounces of sharp white cheddar. And I went ahead for the sake of time off camera and just grated it with a box grater. I know a food processor is quicker, but I am lazy when it comes to digging that thing out of the cabinet and setting it up, so I just use the good old trusty box grater. And I would advise or suggest to use the block cheese and grate it yourself, because there's something about the pre-shredded cheese with trying to make a dish like this and my cheese balls. I always say just grate it yourself. It's just so much better. Okay, so to that, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. And I say all the time, I'm a Hellman's girl, so that's what this is, but you can use your brand of choice. So a 1/2 cup of mayo, and I'm gonna go ahead and stir that in there a little bit to get this going. There's only one brand of pimento cheese on the market that you can buy at the grocery store that I will buy if I have to, if I don't have time to make it. But I love the homemade. And then what I'm going to do with this, it's great just to spread it on crackers and eat it, or celery or whatever. But I'm going to make grilled cheese pimento cheese sandwiches with this, and it's really good. Okay, so then I'm going to add a 4-ounce jar of pimento, and you don't have to drain it. You actually need a little bit of that juice, because otherwise it's just real hard to work with. Okay, so I've got that in there, and this makes a lot. So you can put them, I like to put them in those little 4-ounce glass mason jars and give them as gifts at Christmas time or Valentine's Day. Okay, so then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of white sugar. I'm sorry, that's 1 tablespoon of white sugar, and then a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Then we like it a little heated, so I'll do 1 little dab of hot sauce, and then also I put 1 jalapeno pepper. I take the seeds out. You can certainly leave this out, but it gives it a nice little punch. But just remember, if you're gonna de-seed a jalapeno pepper, wear gloves or use a napkin or something. Try to come in little contact with those seeds, because if you touch your face later in the day or your eye, it will not be good. All right, and so you see how simple And it's going to take me a minute to get this stirred up. You want to stir it real well. And also, before you make your sandwiches or use it as a spread, you want to give it a good stir too. So this is best to sit in the fridge overnight, or at least a couple hours before you serve it, if possible. Pimento cheese, you can do all kinds of things with it. You can make sandwiches, you can put it out as a little appetizer, you could form it into a ball, make a pimento cheese ball. There's just all kinds of great things. I've seen people put it in the little phyllo cups and bake it and put pepper jelly on top, but that's delicious. And while I'm continuing to stir this, I wanted to share with y'all our community of the week. It's called Wildwood. I know we've talked about it before. Man, that community is just growing, and it is the most adorable community with these homes that are, I call them craftsman type homes. We'll verify that with Mike, but they are just adorable. And it's a great location out in the Monrovia area. But when Mike is here, I'm sure he will tell you many more details about Wildwood. But I would encourage you guys to go out there and take a look. Okay, so this is nice and stirred all together. So now I'm just going to cover it and place it in the fridge for a couple hours. And when we come back, I want to show you guys how I make this fun little dessert.
Choosing an appliance can be complicated these days. That's why at Bob Wallace Appliance, we start by asking questions like an occasional cook or a serious chef, something just for you or an army, once a week or once a day. You see, it's not just what we know about appliances, it's what we know about you. Bob Wallace Appliance, locally owned and operated for more than 35 years. Online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
When you select Waldie Flooring's hardwood, you don't just enhance your home, you transform it. With hundreds of beautiful, durable, hand-selected varieties that come with up to a 50-year warranty, you can count on unsurpassed beauty and proven durability that's guaranteed to stand the test of time. When you want the best flooring for your home, come to Waldie Flooring in Madison. WaldieFlooring.com, 256-325-8453.
Since 1983, individuals and businesses in Alabama have relied on Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel, and South for their legal representation. Our experienced attorneys offer high-quality legal counsel in commercial law, real estate, and personal injury litigation. So if you need an attorney, hire the best attorney you can. Call the experienced North Alabama attorneys at Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel, and South to arrange your initial consultation, because we're dedicated to setting the standard for legal services.
Okay, so we're back, and now I want to show y'all how I make the most simplest dessert probably ever. And I call these just little raspberry chocolate tartlets, kiss tartlets, whatever you want to call it. But you take these little phyllo shells that you buy in the freezer section. I love these. You can do so many things with these. But you're just going to place them onto a pan. I like to use parchment paper. It's kind of a guarantee for me that the bottoms won't burn, and it's easy cleanup. And these are really low in, not too high in fat. I mean, it's just one little bite, just a good little sweet treat after dinner. A lot of times, that's all I want. I do love dessert, but sometimes I always say I just want a little something, even just a little Hershey Kiss. Doesn't have to be a big old piece of pie. All right, so what you want to do, we're going to take these, and it's so simple. You're just going to place a Hershey Kiss in each of these little phyllo cups, and then you bake them for about 4 minutes, or just until you see that chocolate melting. And then when you pull them out of the oven, you take a little raspberry, and you want to make sure, I'll wash the raspberries, and you want to make sure and place them on paper towels and kind of pat them dry so they're not real wet or soggy. And then when that chocolate's melted, after you take it out of the oven, you just place that on there, and they're so pretty on a platter. So I'm just going to keep putting these little chocolate kisses in here, and they bake at 350 for only 4 to 5 minutes. You just want to watch them just until that chocolate is melted, because these little cups are pretty much cooked. But I have put, you can put chicken salad in these little cups. The pimento cheese, like I was talking about earlier. I hired a caterer one time a couple years ago, and she did a pimento cheese in here with some kind of pepper jelly on top, and it was amazing. Okay, so that's the last kiss in the phyllo cup. Now I'm just gonna bake them at 350 for only 4 to 5 minutes or until they melt. And so I'm gonna do that, get this cleaned up, and then I'm gonna show y'all how I do my grilled pimento cheese. Okay, so I got everything cleaned up, and now I'm getting ready to do the pimento cheese grilled cheese sandwiches. These are the little raspberry kiss tarts that I just took out of the oven, and I put a raspberry on top of the melted chocolate of each one. I went ahead and did that off camera. It's just a nice little treat. So now I've got the homemade pimento cheese. I stirred it real well, and now I'm going to just put it on some pieces of bread. But this is a thick, hearty white piece of bread that I like to use. Okay, so I've got a generous amount of pimento cheese on one side of the bread. And I love, this griddle is awesome. You can use that, you can just use a skillet. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over here just to make it easier. I've got this griddle, it's nice and hot and ready to go. But before I put these sandwiches on, okay, so here's a little trick that I do. Instead of butter, I like to put a little mayo on each side of the bread. This gives it a really, really nice crunch, and it makes for a delicious grilled cheese. And this is just good old straight up mayo. Okay, and then I always like to give my griddle a little spray just for extra insurance. All right, and then I'm gonna do just a little pat of butter, and you can do this just like this, but in a skillet is fine. I'm just gonna kind of put it on this griddle. All right, and then I'm gonna put these bad boys just right on the mayo side down, and they're gonna cook for about 3 minutes on each side, and it gets nice and brown and crunchy on the outside. And now while they're on there, I'm gonna go ahead and put mayonnaise on the other side. This is one of my favorite things. Grilled cheese with a tomato-based soup is so comforting to me, especially on a gloomy, rainy day. All right, so now we're gonna flip it. See that nice crust? And then I like to take it and just smush it a little bit. So that other side's gonna get nice and crispy on the outside. The cheese is ooey gooey in the middle. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, so they're flipped about another 3 minutes, and they will be ready to eat. And Mike should be here any minute. So I'm gonna finish these up, and we'll see y'all back in a sec.
Okay, today we are at Wildwood, and I'm so excited to show you this new product. My team have been working on this for 1.5 to 2 years, and we've traveled all over the Southeast looking at different products, pulling together what we feel like is the best product that is available in Huntsville when it comes to this style of house, which is a Craftsman series. So one of the things that we're doing that's on every single home out here is the gas lantern feature. So the whole community is gonna have these nice gas lantern features. So this will kind of give you an idea about the different floor plans that we offer. We've got 4 or 5 different plans with different elevations, and Wildwood is going to consist of 2 different phases with 2 separate entrances. The first phase is going to consist of about 26 home sites, and then the second phase is going to consist about 40-something home sites. So we're building in phase 1 right now, and we're developing in phase 2 as we speak. These lots should be available early 2021 timeframe. So let's come on inside. So everybody is loving these big open concept living because it's just all together. This particular floor plan is a great floor plan. We've got a big, huge island. There's enough for, 4 stools up under the bar area. And one of the things that this particular plan also is we've started placing the kitchens on the outside wall. And by placing the kitchens on the outside wall, it gives us this natural light. But we can either do it with a clear window, a fogged window, and then also we build them to where you've got blinds to where you can open and close the blinds. But just take a look at just the openness and the spaciousness. You've got your separate breakfast area over here. We've got built-in cabinets. We've got shiplap, nickel hinges, nickel hardware on the doorknobs, brass light fixtures. And so the way that we're doing it today, it works, it's in, and it looks absolutely amazing. So let's go check out the master. So these style homes are more of a craftsman style home is what we're looking for. And a lot of it is just geared toward more of the straight edge trim, straight edge bulldozing on the sheetrock corners. And it just gives it a really, really nice, clean look. And our bathrooms are the best. One of the things that we're doing that I haven't seen any other builders do, and that is the zero entry showers. We want to allow a lot of natural light into our bathrooms. So you've got transoms over your shower, you've got big glass windows over your tub, and just the whole bathroom just looks awesome. And one thing that's really, really cool, I want to show you. They knocked it out of the park with this. So your master has some built-ins, but another thing that it has a separate doorway that leads into your laundry room, which is cool. So you've got a double access, or you could call it a Hollywood style laundry room, where you have entrance from the main part of the house and then also an entrance from the bathroom. So this is a feature that people are absolutely loving. They're asking us to incorporate it into their plans, and it's just something that just works. So looking at these new homes, you can look at it on TV and say, oh, that looks pretty nice. But really the best thing for you to do is actually come out and look at these homes firsthand. It's a brand new community. It's a brand new product. It's called Wildwood. We do have plans and more information about Wildwood as well as any of our other communities. And if you want to start looking for a new home, the best thing to do is go online, shopwoodlandhomes.com, or you can give us a call at 256-830-9000. We're open 7 days a week. The best thing for you to do is come out and look at some amazing woodland homes. We'll see you in the community. Come out and see us.
All right, we're back, and I got Mike in the kitchen. You show up at the right time.
Always smells good, isn't it?
Thank you. Well, you can peek. It might be hot, but that's your sweet mama's vegetable beef soup that she used to make. Yes, and you cook it down for a couple hours, and the meat just melts in your mouth. And on a day like today, kind of rainy, cold, dreary, it's good combo: tomato, vegetable, beef soup with some homemade pimento cheese, grilled cheese.
Yeah, the way that you do that is just awesome. I mean, so many people just do a regular, grilled cheese sandwich, but you put a little spice and a little bite into it, which makes it good.
Super duper, super duper grilled cheese.
Extra special.
That's right, for my honey. Yeah, and then I got these little raspberry kisses. I call them 3 to 4 different types of names, but anyway, it's just a simple little dessert. But so I was telling the viewers the community of the week is Wildwood, and man, what a fantastic place out there. Yeah. It's just beautiful.
We've talked about Wildwood several different times, and one of the things that it took us about 1.5 to 2 years to actually develop that product. And and we've said in the past that we traveled around to Nashville and Birmingham just to kind of look and see. And one of the main points that I told my design team was, you got to hit the mark. And they nailed it.
Boy, they did.
I mean, they absolutely nailed it. And it is a product that the market has just absolutely fallen in love with, and you can't even get down the street. I mean, it's, you move into a new community, like Wildwood, you got to live with the construction for a little bit, but also it's the property values for a new product in a new community, they just keep on going up and up and up and up. So
I remember when Paige in our office, our marketing director, she put a post up on Facebook, and it was only when there were like 4 or 5 finished houses out there, and it literally blew up. All these iconic realtors that have been in Huntsville forever just had the nicest comments and couldn't wait to take their clients out there, and it's just adorable. Every house has just such great curb appeal, I think, and the yards are a great size, and it's a great location, and so it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, location can't get get a better location. So, but we've kind of pretty much through with phase 1. Phase 2 is coming online. We've got about 45 home sites that we're going to be releasing very soon, and in order to be able to get information on the phase 2 release, where you get like great lot selections and cul-de-sac lots, and we've got home sites that back up to woods and privacy. You'll need to go by and visit the model. And you go by and visit the model, you say, hey, I saw it on Dream Home Cooking. I understand that there's a new phase that's just now being developed, and you can get your name put on a list. And then that way, when we open it up, the new home sales professional will send you an email and let you know that it's been opened up, and so it's a great opportunity to get into a new community that's growing in a great location, and with great home site selections as well.
And that model is, well, all of our models are beautiful, but I'm just partial for some reason to Wildwood. That's just a great community.
Well, it's a new product, and it's there's been a tremendous amount of work that's gone into it, and it's just something that we're really excited about. And I deal more on the land side and the development side of the business, and we're out looking at different properties right now, because we're gonna build through this pretty quick.
Yes. You gonna do it again?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it again. Good. Actually, we're gonna do it in a couple of different locations. We've got some really good acquisitions that we're working on that we haven't got firmed up yet, but you can rest assured that your value will always be protected with a Woodland Home product. So for more information on Melissa's Fine Cooking,
you can go to woodlandhomes.com or our Dream Home Cooking Facebook page for the recipes.
And for information on our homes, you can also visit the website or just simply give us a call at 256-830-9000. But the best thing to do, our models are open 7 days a week. Come out, see for yourself. We'd love for you to visit Wildwood and see just what a great product it is. And it's certainly a product that will move you. So y'all come and see us.
And a huge shout out to our sponsors.
Absolutely.
Let's eat.
All right, let's do it.